One of the most important thing in our business in green technology oil is this. You have to at least understand first or know first the possible questions that will arise in the market. And that's what we call the frequently asked question. Now, number one possible question is this. What is GTO? What is green technology oil? Now, green technology oil is a plant-based super oil enhancer formulated to liberate engine from petroleum-based lubrication products in a gradual manner in order to lower its carbon footprints. It is 100% organic, 100% natural, non-toxic, and non-synthetic. It is known as the best lubrication solution in the world. It is an alternative engine maintenance solution intended to liberate your engine. Next question is this. What benefits will I get if I use the product of GTO? Number one, save 50% or more of your change oil expenses. How are you going to save? Because in our green technology program, no change oil is already possible. So meaning, hindi nyo na kailangan bumili ng bagong langis. Yung mismong lumang langis ninyo, yun ang lalagyan ng GTO. So from there, wala na kayong expenses ng bagong langis. Kung hindi, ang expenses na lang po natin ay yung ilalagay natin sa makina natin, which is the GTO or Green Technology Oil. From that, 50% or more is already a guaranteed savings from your expenses. Second benefit is this. You will save 30 to 50% or more fuel savings. Yes, in our study since 2011 for 1,000 cars, we came up with this result that at least pag hindi sira ang makina, we can guarantee minimum 30% fuel savings or more. In fact, mas malaki pa ho ang testimony na nakikita natin ngayon sa nangyayari sa mundo ng GTO. Number 3, you will have 300% to 450% preventive maintenance savings. Well protected po ang makina natin. Ang kaya niya pong mag-garantiya is this. It will reach to 300 to 450%. Ang ibig sabihin po niyan, kung ang makina natin for example ay projected na masisira for 5 years, with the use of GTO, ang maintenance will be around, mag-arise ang maintenance is around 15 years to 25 years bago mo mararamdaman yung problema sa makina. Another thing is this, you increase torque and horsepower. Honestly po, napakalakas ng makina ninyo. Sobra pa ho sa bagong change oil. Iyan po ay testimony ng karamihan. To prove, we did a study in DOST, especially sa UP Diliman. Nag-submit po kami ng isang sasakyan, lumang sasakyan. And doon po sa dyno test na nangyari, sa test na nangyari sa DOST, ang increase po ng ating torque and horsepower ng engine is around 126 ang increase niya, percent. So, ganun po kalakas ang makina natin. Another thing is this, ang pinagmamayabang palagi ng GTO is this, ultra low emission or zero emission possible. Ganun ho. Napakalaking bagay po ito sa GTO. Isa po sa pinaka-target bakit ginawa ang technology ng GTO is to zero the carbon. Now, it is a common experience po yan ng GTO. Kahit saan daanin, basta hindi sira ang makina, kahit meron tayong emission machine ngayon, we can guarantee super ultra low emission to zero emission. Pag independent yung emission machine, we can guarantee zero emission. That's how powerful our technology is. With all these benefits na sinasabi namin, marami pang iba, You save money, you save fuel, you protect your engine, you save lives, and of course, you save the environment. Now, what is the main purpose of the oil inside the engine? The only purpose of the oil inside the engine is only for lubrication. Okay? No more, no less. Wala na po tayong ibang pag-uusapan yan. Pangpadulas lamang ang langis sa loob ng makina. Kaya po nakakonsentrate ang ating technology dyan, ang yung tinatawag ng viscosity para sa lubrication aspect ng ating langis sa loob ng makina. Successful po ang GTO dyan. Another question is this: do I need to change my oil first before I add GTO into my engine? Well, the answer is no need. Changing your existing oil is entirely optional and discretionary, meaning it's up to you. But for us, we've been telling people, because we keep on advocating is protecting the environment, we are telling people you don't have to drain your oil. We don't recommend this since it is not really a healthy practice with regards to the environment, and besides, it is also a wasteful practice. It is not necessary to change oil before GTO treatment since it doesn't really make a difference when it comes to improvement, whether the oil is a new or old. For as long as GTO is mixed with it, the engine will still perform a notch above the norm. Now, however, we do recommend a periodic inspection and assessment of your old oil to check for metallic particles. Please, please, please. Marami po kasing experience tayo dahil sa ganda ng performance ng makina, napapabayaan po ng karamihan i-check ang kanilang langis. Please check it always as recommended by all transportation industry. Now, this can be done easily with your fingers. If there is a sandy feeling and if there is a stubborn dark staining on your fingers after wiping them with a clean cloth, then you might have to drain your oil or change your filter. Okay? Once the engine is replenished with fresh oil, repeat the GTO treatment as per suggested dosages and frequencies. Please do not pour your used oil on the ground. Keep them in your oil bottles for future use as fuel or recycled lubricants. Be responsible sa mga waste po natin. What happens to my old engine oil inside when GTO mixed with it? Well, GTO treats and enhances your old engine oil. It rejuvenates your old oil and restores back the viscosity of the oil 5 to 10 times than your typical change oil. Makes work like a good engine coolant as it becomes a super lubricant for your engine. In fact, we have a laboratory test of this, an old lumang langis treated with GTO, and ang result ng ating laboratory test is this: grade 15W40. It's a multi-grade oil. Now, when do I change my oil and oil filter? Possibly, changing of oil is unnecessary unless circumstances requires it. In fact, to be honest, as to date, meron na pa tayong mga users na umabot na ng 12 years, 10 years, 9 years, 8 years, 7 years, 6, wala na po silang drain ng langis. Okay? Only top up only with GTO Classic. So possibly changing of oil is unnecessary already. On the other hand, after 10 to 15 days from the first treatment, we suggest to change your oil filter. The next schedule will be every 2 years or if needed so. Now, kasi iba-ibang klase po ang brand ng mga filters. But in my experience, 2 years is our recommendation. Pero sa totoo lang po, yung aking test one time, it took 5 years. Nung tinignan ko, malinis pa rin at maganda pa rin yung filter ng isang sasakyan ko. Now, is there any side effects from using GTO in my engine? Well, the answer is this: none whatsoever. Only good effects. Wala pong negative effects. Now, will I reduce my oil consumption? Of course, definitely yes, provided there are no physical leaks in your system. Okay? Kasi ang iba, kahit may leaks, okay lang. Hindi po mekaniko yung oil namin na nag-aayos ng mga leaks. Ang tinitreat lang po ng GTO is ang langis natin. Another one, GTO has a high boiling point. It will not easily boil when temperature rises inside the engine. Therefore, less oil deterioration. Now, will I save fuel? With the friction load eliminated and the compression sealing ability raised up, it usually follows that the engine will consume lesser fuel while it raises up more mileage. Less pedal throttle pressure plus more speed equals more kilometers for your fuel use. That's the reason why you save fuel. Okay? Now, will I increase torque and horsepower? Relatively, yes. With a clean engine, the friction load is eliminated inside the engine, maximum efficiency result to the mechanical output of the engine. Now, can I use this for diesel engines? Yes, it can be used on any engines from motorbikes to cars to trucks, from SI to CI, gasoline, ethanol, LPG, CNG, diesel, or even hydrogen cars. More specifically, hydrogen powered engines. GTO is pwedeng gamitin. So meaning, it doesn't matter kung anong klaseng fuel ang ginagamit mo. Basta may GTO, maganda at magiging maganda ang performance ng makina natin. How does the filter not get clogged? The oil filter has carbon deposit sediments already attached to it. GT oil melts, dissolves, and liquefies this. When this turns into nanoparticles, too small to filter, they become liquid again. You may check your oil filters after 6 months and see it for yourself. We recommend the Furulator brand oil filters since this is best filter we have tested so far in case there is a really need to replace the filter. Now, how about engine work? Will it have maintenance? Since the engine always feel like it has fresh oil, the new oil mixture will not deteriorate for every long period of time. The only maintenance concern is the timing belt and the spark plugs. The injectors will also last longer since it will always be clean and carbon deposit free. Just add GTO once on every 5,000 kilometers depending on how the engine needs it. This is entirely discretionary. You can easily tell it by the sound and the performance. Spark plugs and the injectors will rarely get clogged up with the carbon deposit. Since carbon is dissolved and saturated, then it goes without saying that it will always be clean and can perform better all the time. However, we have tested engines running on the same oil for more than a year, showing no significant loss of performance and consistency. A GTO treatment is all you need during these intervals. No change oil is necessary at all. How will this happen since oil does not come in contact with the injectors or plug? With ordinary oil, the oil slips through the seals and rings of the pistons, contaminating the combustion mixtures in the chamber. After every explosion power stroke ignition, it is dispersed all over the chamber, becoming carbon soot, contaminating the plugs, surfaces, and injectors surfaces. After every spark or pulse, this time, interval is enough to build up or accumulate carbon deposit. That becomes stone hard like cement. When accumulated, this makes the engine perform bad, consuming more fuel eventually. How will this happen since oil does not come in contact with injectors or plug? GTO prevents this from happening by dissolving these carbon deposits and turning them back into usable lubricant. It is also because of better compression sealing ability since it becomes more magnetic when it is in contact with metal surfaces that are constantly rubbing each other, creating friction. The more friction there is, the more magnetic this fluid becomes to those areas, ensuring a more sealed compression for every stroke or cycle, which also results to more power and thus the productive and beneficial cycle compounds. Can it be used on new and old vehicles or engines alike? Yes, for better lubrication system and optimum engine protection. I have poorly maintained and abused engine with black dirty oil. Can GTO help? Yes, but only to a certain extent. Common sense suggests you need to remove the metal particles in your oil so as to keep your engine from wearing out faster. Treat it with GTO, then drain it after 5,000 kilometers or shorter than that. This is your option. Pour fresh clean oil and treat with GTO again this time. Changing your oil again is entirely your option. Do you have any proof of the claims of the technology? Well, we have DOST certificate proving and certifying whatever claims of GTO are true. And we have also our certification of the oil analysis in the laboratory. We submitted an old oil, okay, treated with GTO. Yan po yung nakikita niyo mga sulat dyan. These are the explanation of the laboratory. But what is more important here is this. Ang sabi po dito, yung result. Note, the engine oil is compared to grade 15 W40. That is a laboratory test. By the way, the laboratory is not here in the Philippines, but it is in India. Okay? Now, is GTO technology has been tested and proven? Wow, tell you honestly. GTO was launched last 2011 of August in the market. As of to date, we already treated an estimate of almost 1 million cars, motorcycles, generators, standby engines, motorized fishing boats, and others. The longest GTO user is 12 years. No draining of old oil, only top up every 5,000 kilometers of GTO Classic. Marami pa hong tayong user. Nagpapatotoo. 11 years, 10 years nang gumagamit, walang draining ng langis. 9 years, 8 years, 5 years, at yung mga bago ngayon is 1 year, 2 years. They've been proving and telling the world that our technology really delivers its promises. Now, tell you guys, is GTO worth sharing to your families and friends or circle of influence? Definitely yes. Green technology oil will definitely change the platform of lubricants. Thank you very much.